So what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sort of completely enclose this driver's compartment here in... I'm looking at metal and I'm thinking that's possibly a really bad idea. Let me just open this up so I can see what's going on. Yeah, metal is probably not the way to go with this. At least not for the entire thing. The reason being that you're not really gonna see this, and the reason you're not gonna see it is simply because this whole section is gonna be covered in some kind of armor, so adding unnecessary weight to sections you're not gonna see is really not a good idea. So I'm gonna just close this up so I can see what needs some blocks added to it. So that needs some blocks added to it, and that needs some blocks added to it, and that probably doesn't. So we'll go ahead and do the same on this side, like so, and that'll need some blocks added to it like that. And this now opens up like that, which is kind of interesting, honestly. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that whole giant section lifting up there. I may disconnect that, honestly. I may make that into separate sections completely, because I feel like that could look better. And by that I mean, I think what I should do is remove these blocks here and actually not have those connected to the roof at all. And I just removed more than I wanted to, which is bloody great. So we'll go ahead and just add that back. I probably should keep the lift in my hotbar. We'll go ahead and add this block back. Then we'll go ahead and add these blocks in and those blocks in, and add not like that. Add this block to there, and then this one to there, and that one to there. And we should now have something that, yeah, that's much better. That's, yeah, I much prefer that. Okay. We still have a lot of work to do, though. This is the thing. There is still a lot of work to do. So what I've decided to do is actually have pivots or bearings 3 and 4, the ones that lift the entire roof itself, go back even further. So the whole thing sort of opens up like this, and then completely encloses around the driver. Obviously leaving this front space open, and there isn't really much I can do about that. But I do actually like how this is coming along. I'm super happy with it. I think I'll add some stuff like that. I'm not entirely convinced by the orange that I've got going on here, but I think that is kind of the only curved block that I have. This duct is actually a curved block that is metal. Okay, that would have made a lot more sense to use. The problem is, no, that actually looks great, and I'm an idiot. Okay, we're gonna go and replace all of this with some duct corners, because they look much better. I just disconnected that entire section, didn't I? Yep, that's exactly what I did. Good job. Well done, me. There we go, I've replaced all of the orange with the ducts there, which looks so much better if I do say so myself. As you can see, the whole system sort of rotates like that. I adjusted some of the bearings, but I think we're pretty much good on the, well, the majority of the top of the Batmobile here, the good old Tumbler. I do think I would like to add a little bit more, though. I reckon I want to try and actually block off this entire section here, which is going to be a little bit tricky to do, because the game really doesn't want me to place anything in there. That's the problem. The game doesn't want me to block off that space. So I need to find a better way to make this work, and I guess I could just remove these and then shift the whole thing forward. I mean, that is an option. It's just potentially not an amazing one. So we'll see how this goes. If I do that and I do something like... I need to get the angle right on this. That is correct, I think. That's really weird looking, is what that is. That is very strange looking. Let's see if we can get something better than that. I don't know that I will, which is troublesome. That is very troublesome. I guess since these are moving at the same time, I can just do that, but it does leave a sort of hole through there, which I guess I'm gonna have to deal with. So what we'll do is this kind of thing here, and just bring this, hold on, bring the curve forward a little bit. So that'll now let me close up the entirety of the front of this vehicle, which is going to look a little bit silly because it's going to be very curved, when really it shouldn't be. So what I'll actually do is only have the sides be curved like this. So if the sides are curved like that, I can bring something forward to make it look a bit more like a tank, which is really what it needs to look like. So if I do, why will this not let me go that way? There we go. So if I did that kind of thing, I can totally bring the rest of this forward at a bit of an angle. And if I use these kind of things, I can maybe do, yeah, that's interesting to look at. I suppose that's very interesting. Okay. This is coming along. This is slowly coming along. So we'll see how this goes. This may look terrible, but well, god damn it, it is gonna have a roof that opens, and it's gonna be some kind of monster of a vehicle. But this, I don't think, is necessarily the way to do it. I have run into a bit of a snag here, which is that happens. That shouldn't happen. That bit isn't supposed to move, at all. Honestly, that's a little bit silly. Hold on a second. We need to just remove this bit from here and just take that back like that, rather than. Oh, hold on a minute. There we go. So that's a little bit better. It closes up completely. It is difficult to get into the vehicle currently. I realize I made a terrible mistake, because what I've done is, okay, that's not what I wanted. Button number 2 here needs to be placed on the outside of the vehicle, so that I can actually press it to get in to the bloody vehicle. So, we'll just chuck this over, I guess, down here will be, nicely out of the way. So we'll just do that, we'll connect it to that, and we'll connect it to the seat. So I should not be able to press, yeah, I can now open the vehicle from the outside, which is always a good thing. It's always good to be able to open it, you know, and do your thing. Does it drive still is the question. We have added a fair bit of weight to it. It does seem to be moving without too much trouble. Although the front looks like it's really about to hit the ground, but it seems to be getting over the hills. That's good. It does seem to be moving, so this is definitely progress. Now, we are pretty far through design here, but I'm actually going to make a pretty major change to the back end of the vehicle. I'm going to take these wheels off because they are not low enough. Basically, they need to be a little bit lower than they currently are, because we're running into some serious problems. So what I'm going to do is just completely take those off, and I'm just going to use these to mount the new ones, because I think it's an interesting looking block. So we'll use these to mount the wheels. We do need a bearing, of course, so we'll go ahead and grab that. Chuck the bearing on there, then chuck the 3 wheels there. Now, the reason I'm doing this, as I said, is that the wheels weren't low enough. This may look silly, though, is my worry. Yeah, that actually doesn't help. It's the front wheels also need to be lower, which really complicates things at this point. That really complicates things, because I'm potentially making it look, because this one's at an angle, you know? It's kind of supposed to be at that angle, and that happens when the front wheels are low, but I'm not sure what I can do with these wheels here. I'm really not sure. We're going to have to do some fairly intensive redesigns. Oh no, this actually looks okay, which is super good news. And I've actually moved the wheels closer to the front of the vehicle. I haven't actually put all the bearings on yet. This won't turn, but this is okay. This I am okay with. So this is a good design. I'm actually kind of glad we ran into that problem. So it looks silly here, but this is actually going to work. And I'm honestly kind of amazed that I get to say that this is going to work, because I really didn't think it would, I'll be honest. But what we do is we raise the vehicle up. We put some bearings in the underside of these. Then we want these to be forward facing like that, and then facing in like that. And then we put some bearings on there and on there. And now what we do is we want to connect the steering to those bearings. Then we add the wheels to the inside like this. And is it going to work? That's the important question. It may look good, but we don't know if this will actually work. Steering is going the wrong way, but the steering is actually work. Like, look at that. That's fitting in there perfectly. That's so good. That is exactly what we need. So flip the steering and let's go for a quick test drive. Oh, this is perfect. It's got so much more clearance off the ground. And it may look silly, but that's actually necessary to get up that ramp there. So that's kind of great. It does sit a little bit too flat for my liking when it's driving. There should be more of an angle there, but thus far, that's actually okay. That's kind of great. Like when it's sitting idle, it's the suspension is compressed, but not that much. So yeah, this is coming along. This is promising. Now all we need to do really is add the armor and fill out the size of the thing a little bit, and then we're pretty much good. Okay, I'm looking at the front of this, and I'm actually thinking this is pretty good for the front. As for the rest of it, I will just fill it out with these a little bit, just to give it the shape that it needs. And then I'm going to build off of these a little bit to, taper it in a little bit, make it look a little better. We'll add a little bit extra weight just here and there as well to just fill it out. I think that's where we come off at that side. I think it is. How heavy is this? This thing here is actually heavyweight. So we do want to maybe strip a little bit of weight out of here, if at all possible. I'm going to try and not, have this thing be super heavy, because thus far we're actually balancing that pretty well. So if I can do that kind of thing and sort of strip out some weight and then maybe add in something like this to just add a little bit of, just a different kind of texture, I suppose, to the look of the vehicle. If I do that kind of thing, ooh, no, that's actually kind of badass looking. I'm kind of okay with that. So we'll do that, and we'll do that again, and that's okay. Honestly, I kind of like this. If we do that again, yeah, that's interesting. It's interesting that it has that. Oh, that's like for keeping it on the ground is what that's for. That's. I don't know. It looks interesting, is what it does. Maybe if I rotate these and sort of, oh, I actually really like this. I like this, the look at the back here. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Maybe if I do the same here, we can get some, I don't know if I like that anymore. I don't know, how to feel about this. Maybe if we take that bit out and sort of extend this forward, a little bit. We probably want to fill in this gap as well, since it's very open here. That is not something you want on your tank, is open space. So we'll add something like that. That's not so bad. Maybe if I add one of these to there, and then add one in there like that as well, just to add some detail. Now we'll do one here as well. I think the block goes on the block goes in the back bit. So we want to just rotate this to that little block sections there. Then we come out, I believe it was 2, and then we want to put the block on the bottom bit. Yep. No, it wasn't 2, was it? Or was it? No, it was 2. It was 2. Okay, so this goes there, and then this goes, actually. No, that's fine. If we just have that facing up. I mean, that looks alright, I guess. It's still a bit weird, though. I don't know how I feel about it not having the proper kind of dark color that the Tumbler, the Batmobile, should have, but that's not really going to be an option in Scrap Mechanic anyway, so there's not too much I can do about that. I will just fill in that space and that space, though, because that was kind of annoying me. As for these spaces up here, I think what the best thing I could do is actually open this and see what I'm working with. So really, I don't want to connect to those 2 blocks that are already there. So I want to build backwards like this, and we do need to make sure this will actually work, is the thing. So if I hit the button, it folds up in a really bloody weird way. So that's not actually going to work. So we need to figure out a different system for this. I can't really leave a gap there because it's going to look kind of silly. Unless I do just leave a gap there and have it look kind of silly. I mean, we can see if this'll work. The answer is still no. Yeah, this is where things get tricky, when you have moving parts that have to be done in a very specific way. You know, I'd say this is nearing completion at this point. It's, I mean, there's a lot of weight on that front end is the problem, but when we accelerate, it does lift a bit. Not by much, though. There's a lot of weight on that, that front suspension, which is a bit of a problem that, I guess is fixable, but not easily fixable is the thing. Also, the front suspension, I realize, like, those posts are sitting up like crazy and look kind of silly. It would be nice to try and mask those a little bit, I think. Which isn't really all that doable. I'm realizing it's not going to be that easy to try and mask that suspension. I'm actually not entirely sure how I'd go about doing it. I guess if I added in some blocks like that, and then I added in something like that there, and something like, say, hold on, let's get this angle right there, and then we do, I guess what I can do is that kind of thing, where it's not sticking out quite as much. I guess that's okay, to be honest. Let's get the rotation right. There we go. That's a little better. It's still quite clearly sticking up, but that's really, there's not much I can do about that. We do need to give this thing a little bit more gas from the engines, though, so let's do that. Oh no, this is interesting. With the extra bit of gas from the engines, it really gets moving, which is super great. There we go. This thing is not so bad, honestly. There is a little bit of work needing done at the back there, though, I'm noticing. So let's just go ahead and see what we can do with that. If we just, we need to fill in some of this space, is all I'm realizing, because that's, yeah, that's open and it probably shouldn't be. So if I fill in something like that, I'm not entirely sure how this will work, because of just the simple fact that the roof sort of has to open. So the roof, I realize, isn't opening because of the blocks I've put down there. So the roof now, okay, I'm stuck. I am very stuck. Hold on, fix that, there we go. Yeah, the roof, I'm realizing, is causing some problems, but I guess that's okay there. Maybe if I add a block in there and there, and there and there, that may still open okay. Yeah, that seems to be alright. So that kind of gives it the illusion that it is closed from that back end, I think. Yeah, it looks fairly closed up there, which I'm okay with. So, I mean, I guess I'm gonna sort of call this a success, in a way. It's definitely not, the Tumbler from the Dark Knight. It's... I think that's fair to say. At this point, it's not an accurate recreation of the vehicle from the movie. What it is, though, is a vehicle that I'm quite happy with, to be honest. I don't think it's too bad looking. I've made worse. So, I mean, it's got that going for it, which is nice. What I would like to do, though, is just add these at the back facing down, like that. Yeah, so something like that I think looks a little bit better here at the back. So we'll just add a little bit of weight, then add a couple of these. And yeah, I think that looks a little bit better there at the back. Those panels on the side kind of helped as well. I could totally add one of these as well. But I think that might be a little bit much. I can't, nah, I think that's a little bit much. I think as it is, it's okay. I'm going to stop making modifications to it because at this point it really is... I mean, let's be honest. Again, I was never going to recreate the Tumbler from The Dark Knight. That wasn't really going to happen. I don't know which of these I prefer. I think I prefer the roof on this one, because I love how it looks really cool open. But this one I think looks more like a kind of battle tank, which is kind of what the Tumbler is. So I think this one sort of gets the... this one gets the idea. This one's like, I know what I'm supposed to be. I'm good to go. Whereas the other one's like, yeah, but I look kind of cool and have a really cool roof. So I will leave it up to you, I suppose, in the comments to decide which you prefer, because I can't really decide, in all honesty. It's a weird one. I thought I'd maybe have a one I would definitely like more, but I don't at all. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it up to all of you to decide which one you prefer. But honestly, I think we built something kind of cool here. It's not the greatest, but it does the job. And with that in mind, I think I'm going to leave it there for today. So thank you kind of for watching. I've been the ConflictNerd, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.